UFC 298, Alexander Volkanovski will beat Ilia Topuria, and I have no doubt. Last week, I didn't know what to think, but after this interview, the latest interview of Volkanovski, I saw his confidence, and not only the confidence, I saw how he's approaching the fight, and not only how he's approaching the fight, but a little hints that he's giving. He's not gonna be a target for Topuria. Topuria is good, great boxer, but Volkanovski is in another level, and I have no doubt. Let's follow up this interview. Let's talk point by point why I do think Volkanovski is going to put a masterclass against Topuria. I think he will dominate the fight. Could be a hard fight, and this is an MMA fight, Everything can happen. And I like the way Volkanovski was talking about that. It's a fight. Everything can happen. He can get me with a big punch, but other than that, I'm not gonna be a target for him. I will move, and we're going to see point by point. And I think a lot of people discrediting Volkanovski because of his last fight. But in this interview, he talking to us about every point that people is talking, and I have a lot of confidence on Volkanovski because of the interview. Let me know what you think. Watch the whole video. Click the like button. You guys know the drill. Just do it, okay? Let's go to the video.
I guess the difference was it was more out of character for Max. Because we obviously know he's not like that. So he was obviously trying to get into my head. And so I wanted to use it as fuel, but let him know, I was like, I know you're trying to do. Like, you know what I mean? He's saying you know what I'm saying? I was more like that, I was all good with it. With Ilia, I think he does it more, hype up the fight, marketing and all that. Obviously, he's a confident young man, but I think he likes to play the game. So that's more... It's a bit different. So where Max was trying to get in my head, where I feel like this, Ilia's more just trying to hype up the fight.
On this argument, I strongly disagree of Volkanovski. Strongly disagreement over here, my brother. First, the guy asking him if it's different, the trash talk about Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria. And I gonna say, what is the difference? The difference, they already fought one time. Max was the former champion. Max was a legend. And allegedly, on his mind, Max Holloway thought that he did enough to beat Volkanovski on the first fight. And I agree with that. 100% I saw Max Holloway beating Volkanovski at least 2 times out of 3 fights. So, what changed? You know the opponent. You was a legend already. You beat Jose Aldo Jr. You beat many, many other fighters. You beat Charles Oliveira. That's Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira, Jose Aldo Jr. and many, many other fighters. So the trash talking Max Holloway was doing was because he thought he beat Volkanovski on the first round. Volkanovski is saying that Max Holloway was trying to get on his head. I strongly disagree with that, my brother, because Max Holloway always was a nice guy during press conference, doing this, doing that. I genuinely think he was mad at Volkanovski because he thought that he was stolen. The fight was stolen. So that's the first point. The second point, Volkanovski is saying that Topuria is just doing the trash talk to hype up the fight. I strongly disagree with that. I think Ilia Topuria thinks he's the best in the world. I think Topuria is not doing that only to sell pay-per-view tickets. I think Ilia Topuria is doing that because he really believes in what he's saying, my brother. I think he believes Volkanovski old. I think he believes he's the new generation of MMA fighters. And I don't think that's just to sell. You could say that before on the fights, the guy truly believes in himself. And I think he is thinking Volkanovski will be easy. And I strongly disagree with that too. Okay, that's going to be a hard fight for Ilia Topuria.
But that's the thing about credit to him to say some of them things, because man, it's going to bite you in the ass so bad. You know what I mean? I'm obviously very confident that I'm going to go out there and do my thing, and then it's just going to be absolutely horrible for him. Obviously, he has a puncher's chance, but that's honestly the only way I see him beating me. And, I guess, again, I give him credit. Good on him for wanting to play that, but like I said,
that thing got me very confident on Volkanovski winning. Saying the only chance Ilia has to beat him is if one punch, and he knows that. And that's true. And that's what I think. I think Volkanovski is better in every other area than the boxing. I think Topuria is better at the boxing, maybe has more punching power, but I think as a martial artist, Volkanovski is way better than him. And at least what he's saying, that he knows that. So he knows that he could drop him with one punch. So that what that says, what that means, that Volkanovski is aware of Topuria's power, and he's not gonna play any games trying to outbox Topuria. That's at least what I'm getting from this interview.
that it's going to bite you in the ass bad. It can get really embarrassing, and this could be a big hit on your sort of career right now. You know what I mean? Like, especially the way you're talking. I mean, things need to go like extremely right for you for this to work out, and it's not gonna. That's what, like, it's crazy. But I mean, good on him.
That's another thing that got me confidence on Volkanovski, because he's saying that props to him to selling the fight, to think he's the best fighter, but in the end of the day, Topuria is still undefeated. So he's very confident because he never lost, and he's feeling he's on the top of the world now. And many other fighters, they were like that. But like Volkanovski saying, to things going well on the fight for you, you have to perform it very well, because you're talking a lot, you're saying a lot of shit, you're putting a lot of responsibility on you. So that's funny, because Volkanovski is the legend, and everybody is perceiving him as the underdog on the fight. So his confidence, his thinking, that's going to bite Ilia Topuria on ass, you know, after the fight, in the meaning that he's talking a lot. He will have to do a tremendous work to fulfill the all expectation for the fight. And like I say, I'm seeing a very confident Volkanovski, and he knows that because he was an undefeated fighter like that in UFC, at least for a long time.
All sports, right? It's now in the UFC, if you lose, I've never seen the way people want to jump on the fact you lost, right? Like, you know, Izzy lost to Strickland, straight on to Izzy. Sean lost to Dricus, straight on to Sean. And I feel like you said, Topuria is sort of setting himself up. Like, it's sort of this big game, man. Like, I wouldn't want to be in his comment section if he was to lose on Saturday. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't like the question because he was saying the fans all gonna trash you if you lose. I don't wanna be on your comment section if you lose. Man, that who gives a shit about haters or about people talking shit to you, man? Let the fans talk, and just, man, it's a professional. If you lose, you lose. If people talk shit, they talk shit, because one thing is for sure. If you became champion, everybody going to praise you, and you love that. But when you lose, you don't like nobody to talk shit to you. How that works? How you always love that people going to say that you're amazing, that you're great fighter of all time. And when you fail, you want people to support you. Man, that's life. Life doesn't care about what you think, my brother. So just don't read the comments, the comment section.
I've obviously touched on his bio on Instagram and all that, and I'm like, you have to personally, I want you to do that, right? And it would be good if you can, make sure you film that as well.
Might not see him doing that.
I think he should, you know what I mean? Like, I might put, that's the only thing, I'll bet with you. That's all you need to do. When I get it done, you just have to let me watch you do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just so I know that you did learn your lesson, and you can bounce back from it.
I agree with Volkanovski on that 100%. Like, how can you put champion without fighting for the belt yet? I know you're confident on yourself, and you have to be confident on yourself, but this is the fight game. This is the fight game. How many champions retire undefeated, like Khabib? And Khabib was not a guy like that. First of all, he was very religious, he was very humble, and of course he was confident on himself. But imagine Khabib putting UFC champion before the fight for the belt, and I think that's even motivating Volkanovski. So from this interview, what I see is a motivated Volkanovski. He's coming off a loss, so he wants to prove everybody that he still got it. And I think the trash talk in the Instagram, all the drama is giving him even more fiery to fight on the fight day.
He's got a young family and things like that, so I don't wish any ill will to him. I think he's probably a good kid just playing the game. So You know, I think if he bounces back from it the right way, I think it starts with changing it by yourself, and then just, you know, understanding. It's like, oh, I tried to play a game, didn't work out. Now back to, you know, I don't know, like, it's weird because I say he's playing the game, but then I just feel like, he literally does think he's the superstar, or he's just really good at playing the villain.
Again, that doesn't make sense because first Volkanovski say that he thinks he's playing the game, and then now he's saying, but sometimes I think he's these superstars and this and that. So Volkanovski is not making any sense right now. You believe or you don't believe that he believes that he is that superstar in the champion. Topuria has the potential to be a superstar. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He talks in Spanish. He's from Georgia. He lives in Spain. Like, that's a huge European market for him and a huge market in USA for him. People love him. He finishes fight. That's very important. So don't get me wrong. He could be a superstar. I just think he's going too crazy and he's fighting for the belt. He's not defending the belt. So Volkanovski has to decide what he believes. Does Ilia Topuria truly believes that he is the superstar already, or he's playing the game to sell pay-per-views? You have to stick one narrative.
Is Ilia this crazy boxing striker that you've never seen before, or is it like he's okay, but he's okay?
He's a good fighter. Like, I'm not saying he's a good fighter. I'm not saying he's not a good fighter, but he's definitely. He has to show us something that he hasn't showed us for me to understand the hype, or, you know what I mean? Because the hype or the way he talks about himself, or even the hype, he has not shown that. Maybe he hasn't needed to with his opponents. You know what I mean? Maybe he needs other guys to really push him in ways where he needs to show us something different. Well, I am that guy. So let's see if he does have anything different. So
you see how crazy is that narrative, and I think Volkanovski is right on that one. I think the hype is justified because, like I say, he didn't finish Josh, but he gave Josh a beating, you know? But at the same time, he beat Bryce Mitchell, good grappler. He beat Ryan Hall, but nobody has the same caliber of Volkanovski. So, to Volkanovski as a champion, saying that he gonna test Topuria is just crazy. Can you believe that? The level of disrespect against Volkanovski here, even by himself, is crazy. Because he's saying, the hype and this and that, and then he says, like, I am the guy to test him. You're the champion. You're the champion. You don't need to test anybody. You know, you is the guy to be tested. And I think Topuria is a test for you, not you a test for him, if you know what I mean. But to be fair, Volkanovski is saying, like, he's a good fighter, don't get me wrong. And I agree with that because we need to see him against a guy like the top contenders. I would like to see him even before that fight next Saturday against Max Holloway. Max Holloway was the fight to make against Topuria, you know. But it is what it is. Let's see the fight on Saturday.
it's not like that, you know. I've seen so much. Like, look at the people I've fought, so and even trained with. Like, as if I'm going to be surprised at what this guy's going to show me, and that's no disrespect to him.
You've never seen a body shot before? No?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Like, oh, look at this body shot. Like, from, you know what I mean. Like, reaching, yeah. Anyway, everything. Like, it's. Don't get me wrong. He's got some good, nice combos. If you are there for him to hit you, he can do some good work.
That's another thing that I want to point right here. He's saying he has very good combinations in boxing, but you have to be there so he can hit you. What that means, he's not boxing against Ilia Topuria. He will do MMA. He will grapple. Don't get me wrong. Bryce Mitchell is good grappler and Ryan Hall is amazing grappler, but they are not built the same way Volkanovski is built. The size, the frame, the wrestling background. You guys have to remember Volkanovski did a great fight against Islam. Do you think Topuria has the same grappling experience than Islam Makhachev? Do you think Topuria has the same 5 rounds experience than Makhachev? And remember, Makhachev was almost without gas on the 5th round. So that is going to play a huge part on the fight.
Let's see if he can hit me.
Yeah. He's
Let's see if he can hit me.
Character, like you said.
See, I ain't just saying stuff. I ain't just saying, I'm like sort of telling you, is like, look at the way I'm explaining it. I can explain it with details in how he fights. He's just saying crazy stuff that doesn't even make sense, acting like I haven't proved myself time and time again. You know what I mean? He's just saying it for the hype, and good on him, because I don't need to do much. I just need to go out there and do my thing. So, you know, I sort of thank him for doing what he's doing, because he's doing a great job.
Again, I don't know. I don't think Volkanovski know, but I think Topuria truly believes. Again, he keeps saying that he's doing that for the hype, and I don't like that too much, because a guy that believes in himself that much is very dangerous. He's very dangerous. It could go like his best performance or his worst performance yet. We're going to see on Saturday. But at the same time, Volkanovski brought a very good point right here. The point is, I proven myself over and over with the best opponents. I train with very good fighters. So Topuria is crazy talking the way he is doing.
I put myself through it, man. The amount of bad positions and, you know, the adversities I'm always putting myself in, you name it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I do that day in, day out, and I just don't see that with what he's doing. Obviously, he's not going to show all his training footage, but I don't know. But he's doing a great job hyping the fight up. So, thanks, Ilia.
I think that's very valid point. Every video that you see Volkanovski on training, he always training with people bigger than him. We saw him training against Drico Duplessis back in the day, Adesanya, Dan Hooker, Craig Jones. I'm not saying for that fight, because that doesn't make sense, but I mean, from what looks like Volkanovski is pushing every time on the training, on the rounds. Like he say, I don't see much about Topuria's training, but to me, what looks like, it's maybe he's from a small gym like that, and I think he played the rules. I'm not sure, I don't know, but I think when you are from a small gym like that, or even if you are the biggest star on your gym, you can tell the coaches what you want to do, and I think that's very bad. So I think Volkanovski is still a champion because of that, because he still keeps his training on the hands of the coaches. So the coaches decide what is the best for you, because soon as you start to saying your coach what you want to do, that's bad for your career.
Do you think maybe when you're in there, there'll be moments in there where you're like, but I'm not here for you to hit, and maybe you'll give him some of those quips to let him know, like, hey, those levels we speak about, they still hit?
Yeah, like, I mean, exactly. Like, without giving too much away, but I mean, there's probably going to be times where I'm just going to sit there and just have a big smile on my face. This ain't going the way you thought it was it? I was like going, oh, I'm a lot stronger than I was it? Oh, I'm not easy to hit, am I? I'm not just going to stand in front of you and be a punching bag, am I?
That gives me a lot of confidence on Volkanovski, because he's saying, man, in the middle of the fight, he's going to regret how much he's talking, because I will have a smile on my face. He's going to realize my power. He's going to realize that I'm not easy to hit. That means, again, that he's not boxing Topuria. If he goes to a brawl against Topuria, he's going to be finished. Topuria is younger. Topuria has power, you know. But if Volkanovski does use his strategy, he's a tough motherfucker to beat, my brother. Ask them for all the featherweights.
He probably hasn't, you know, maybe he hasn't had to show different things. Like in his last few fights, he hasn't had to show his grappling. But I mean, for people to act like, oh, he's grappling well, it's like going, yeah, okay, so I'm going to be surprised by this kid's grappling.
He is a good grappler. He finished Bryce Mitchell on a katagatame, but of course, his level of strike is way better than Bryce Mitchell, and he did a pretty good job against Raya Hall, a grappler. But again, both guys, jiu-jitsu guys, not wrestlers.
Look who I train with every day. Look at the guys I've fought. I've moved up in heavier divisions against guys that are just like Islam. Like, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone knows he's devastating grappling. Like, let's be real. What do you think's going to happen if he was going to grapple Ilia? Come on, man, let's be real.
That's a very good point, because I don't know his height, but I think Ilia is shorter than Volkanovski. Imagine Ilia Topuria fighting Islam Makhachev, the first fight. Of course, on the second fight, he got knocked out. Again, no disrespect to him, but he shouldn't have get the fight. And again, the first fight was very, very competitive, even on the grappling.
Or even his striking. He's got good, powerful punches, but so does a lot of people that have fought. You know what I mean? So it's just, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm preparing, as I've said this many times, I'm preparing for a much better version of Ilia that I've seen. I'm preparing for an Ilia that he thinks he is. I'm preparing for that guy. You think you're that good? Although I'm preparing for that, so I'll be ready.
That's awesome. Even though he's saying that he didn't see the full potential of Topuria yet, he's saying, I'm preparing to the guy that you think you is. That's a powerful statement, and that gives me confidence on Volkanovski. That means he's not underestimating him, even though he's saying, why this kid is so hyped up, why this kid is talking so much shit. He must be good, right? So I'm going to prepare for that. Even though watching the fights, I don't see that.